Okay, so it's Sunday, can only be our recap from. And we are looking today at season 2, episode 6, called Pas de Deux.
Yeah, this is another episode where a lot happened without a lot happening. It's weird, you know.
I know. So, a little bit of a summary. The colony is running out of food. There's been a lot more people in the colony, but not enough food because a lot of the food supply were destroyed during the storm in season 1. So they need to start rationing, and rationing food made tension in the colony. Things happen, and we have a very, very scary night in the hospital. Mm.
Yes, and we also well, I think they kind of revealed that Christie's fiance is an addict pretty early on. Like they just ripped the band-aid off.
Yeah, I would say, I think it's a product of the time because this kind of secret would have lasted longer if we went early 2000. Like when they had 22 episodes a season. Do you remember that, Anthony? How good
Yeah, I remember
22
that.
episode was? Instead of 10, 12, 7, 8. So they really need to go very quickly on some storyline, unfortunately, which is a shame because I was really rooting for this kind of situation when she's hiding the fact she's a drug addict for most of the season, and at the end we actually have something when we need the medication that she's actually stolen, and everything would have just break out and in a nice and drama fashion, you know. But no, we just got it
No,
early on.
yeah, she finds a pamphlet for a retreatment center
Mhm.
in her backpack while she's looking for a hair clip.
And then we got
So
a lesbian argument, you know. It was,
yeah,
it was cute. It was good. There's no,
it was quick too. I mean, I was like, okay, this is all happening fairly quick.
yeah, but there was no U-Haul, so they couldn't leave really. So that's the issue.
Yeah, when she was saying, "I'm just gonna go for a walk," and she's like, "Well, you can't." so, so that's
Exactly.
sorry.
So we've got this. We also have again Boyd trying to talk to the mother of Kim about what happened and why he kept Sarah alive. Didn't go well.
Yeah. Well, hey, at least someone was talking in this episode because, as we've discussed, that is something these people just seem to not do. Is to just talk to each other.
I think so many secrets, and it's just getting annoying because just like you were stuck in a place, surely every detail should be important. It's why? Why?
Especially her finding the doors in the woods and stuff like that, and she hasn't told anybody. so,
I know. Or even like we have this very creepy ballerina appearing quite a lot in that episode, and for quite a long time he wasn't even saying anything. Boy was just like experiencing this ballerina with this worm in the mouth or something. There was something in the mouth. I don't know what it was. I think it was
well,
worms.
yeah, we also got Kenny being a little aggressive.
Mm.
Boyd's in the opening scene, Boyd's in the diner trying to talk to his mom. In comes Kenny and he's just like, get that F out.
Yes, indeed. But I think that after the last two episodes that were much more focused on characters, this time we kind of had a weird hybrid of character development with action, but it was not enough of any of them. This is actually, I kind of got myself, there was not enough for some reason. Uh, it felt really like lacking.
Well, we did discover one thing. We discovered that these things have a weakness. So
Hmm.
that's something.
Yeah, are we spoiling it?
I mean, we don't have to, but I feel like if you're watching the recap, you've seen
Mm,
it. But
that's true. We might talk about it later. For the moment, we're just gonna leave it. If there is, yeah, they might have found a weakness or not. We don't know. We're still actually at the end of the episode. We don't
well,
know.
no. We'll know in the morning, basically.
Yeah, definitely. So what do we have actually very creepy? We got this ballerina, which a throwback to that music box we saw at the beginning of the season with this guy chained to the wall, Martin. If I remember, you were telling me it was called Martin. So yeah. So we are seeing that music box doing this creepy music and ballerina coming out of nowhere. And I was asking you if that was a new threat, dancing ballerina, but that could have been a bit weird.
From goes Black Swan.
I know. And this is what really actually annoys me because I do believe they are doing it. They don't show us things for no reason. And one of the scene it's not in the wood, in the countryside outside the town, when the ballerina come out of this sh basement thing. I don't know what to call it, like a shelter, underground shelter, and they don't go into
Yeah,
it.
it was like a cellar.
They don't go into it. She come out of it and they don't even bother going inside. I wanted to see what was inside because why is she there? Why did she come out of this place? No,
Okay, well, you're at this question that you're asking. I'm sure I can answer for you. That is because Boyd is African American and Kenny is Asian, so they know not to go into dark places.
fair enough. That's why they're still alive, I guess. Funny story also, because that's something I realized. So we do have this tension in the colony, and Boyd's son, what's his name? I can't remember his name. Smoky guy.
Ellis, Ellis.
Ellis, there we go. Yes, Ellis. Smoky guy. Um, Ellis gets stabs. And who's helping it? Who's helping Ellis going to the hospital? The minorities. Were the white people just staring at it? Just like it was so weird. Just like, okay. Is
Okay,
there a
but I do
message?
want to. What I want to. What I find super hilarious was the fact that the bus driver is still in her uniform. Like she just thinks this is just, you know,
I know.
she's about to drive out of here any second. It's not happening, sis.
Nice, but
Get comfortable.
okay. Let's be honest. Let's be fair. We actually may be talking about a couple of days past since they arrived.
Mm,
I think.
I'm just saying, like, if that would have been me, I would have already been out of my work clothes. Like,
That's true. Maybe she felt some kind of presence of being in a uniforms, like it could be that. But we do have actually a couple of action sequences. I think the one that are really getting on the edge of my seat is when they try to get the van outside when actually all this thing were coming out of the woods. That was tense.
yeah, Elgin's just like, meet me at the steps, and we're like, Elgin, what are you doing?
I know. I just done it.
if that if that van would have not started, poor Elgin.
Yes, that's what I was actually thinking because I was just kept looking. So hold on, there is actually nothing. There is actually nothing to protect him because there was no talisman inside the van, which is wow. Okay, that was interesting.
Living life on the edge.
Hmm. Indeed. And then, of course, the hospital when actually we discovered that poor Ellis need a transfusion because he's losing too much blood, and the only person who can actually give the transfusion is the dad, who might or might not be infected with things from Martin. So what do we do when we got this issue where we try to actually do the most stupid thing you can do, going outside? This is dumb. I'm sorry, that was dumb.
Well, hey, he knew how it worked, so I feel like it was a good option. I mean, had it not worked,
Okay.
we. But the thing is, I find Boyd to be a very safe character. Like, I don't think that he would be off because he just has so much charisma and so much like when he is on the screen, it's just like you just want to know what he's doing and et cetera, et cetera. And there's few other characters that do that. So
I guess you haven't.
so I do find him a little safe. I'm just saying.
I don't know. I just remember that zombie show on Sci-Fi he was in. We actually died in the first two episodes. And actually, I
Yeah,
thought the
I
guy was
mean,
supposed to be the hero, and she died in the second episode. Just like, okay.
yeah, but we're not talking about the show. We're talking about From. So.
Yes, I know. But actually, it's funny because I think it might be the first show when I actually see him as a main character because, like in Lost, he was part of the main cast, but he was more of a secondary one, and they really show actually his acting, chops, and it's pretty cool. He's actually doing pretty well, and yeah, love it.
Sorry, I just thought my good guy doll looked at me. I was like, "What?"
It doesn't agree with you. Mhm. Hi, I'm Chucky.
and
Wanna play?
and him, well, basically him putting that blood. Kenny was like, "Hey, put it in me instead."
Mhm.
I'm like, okay, Kenny, you're so kinky.
Mm,
But
that's
no.
true. But actually, I was thinking about something. It's which come back to what we talked about last time. The fact they're all there at a defining moment in their life,
Mhm.
and Kenny started to talk about actually the way his dad actually started to show sign of dementia, and Boyd is showing pretty much similar signs. Is Kenny looking at Boyd as maybe a way to redo what he couldn't do with his dad? That started to look at it that way. Like he has a second chance to
Mm,
actually do better. And Boyd could be actually the stuff.
maybe.
This is what I was looking at because he was angry with Boyd, but very quickly they decided to actually patch things up. It seems, patch things up. It seems.
Yeah, I mean, because boy's not crazy. Like, the girl saw the worms. So, I just love it because they're just like, "Wait, you saw that? Yeah, I did." And then they just grab his arm and they can see it. They're like, "Oh, so he's not insane."
And we also have one of a very cool conversation with our dead priest, who pretty much tell us that no, it is not something supernatural, but it's only a figment of bored imagination. He said it himself.
Okay.
So let's put that to bed. Nothing creepy about this. He just talking about to himself in some ways.
Well, I'm actually kind of. Are we going to talk about the scene outside of the hospital, or are we just not going to do any spoilers? How about that?
Hmm. Okay, so we're gonna actually should we talk about it? What do you think?
I mean, this is a recap. I'm just.
Okay, let's talk about it then. So
Yeah, and so also, if you haven't seen the episode, this will be the spoiler part. So feel free to
to leave
go
and come back.
something. Okay.
Leave and come back.
Yeah.
Because we might have some very interesting or kind of funny things to say about it, but so
Okay.
yeah, so Boyd's actually say I can't give my blood to my son because I've got the things inside of me, crawling inside of me, and one thing you remember is Martin gave it to him because this thing didn't let Martin die. So he said, okay, maybe if I can pass it on to someone, I will get rid of them from my blood and be able to give the blood to my son. So you say Kenny actually decided to actually volunteer, but Boyd refused to do so. Instead, he decided to go outside and taunt some of these people that lives in the woods.
Yeah, and that scene was really I was worried for Boy there for a second, not gonna lie.
And we've got Mr. Smiley Guy that actually, this guy is creeping me out, always been creeping me out since the beginning of this show, who appeared with his
Boys
friends.
just like, yeah, boys just like, come on, and they just casually walking up
Hmm.
to him, so slow with the smiles,
Let's
and
play. I love this game.
yeah, I no, he said, I love this new
Hmm.
game.
So one thing we realize also is actually these things do not bleed.
We did see that.
Hmm. We haven't seen any because we saw a lot of blood, but not from them. We actually saw. I'm gonna be honest with you. I was wincing pretty hard during that sequence with the blood in the hospital. It was pretty graphic. It was
Yeah.
pretty graphic. But yeah, there was no blood. These other things in the woods don't bleed, so that's one thing we didn't know about. So that's pretty interesting.
Well, one thing I need to know is when Boyd says, my blood is your blood now, does he have to say that to pass them on, or is it just like an automatic thing?
I
I
don't
want to
know. It
know.
seemed that he might actually been some kind of incantation because he started after saying that he started to actually does this thing they do in acting, pretending things coming out of the body.
Yeah. I thought it was funny because they were just like
Mm,
smiling even after he did it. And then I did find it interesting where he just like passed out on the ground or whatever. We don't know if he's dead or
I
not,
hope not.
but the fact that they all just walked
They
away.
looked at him they looked at him and they're still smiling, which is pretty weird. It's just like, can they just smile only? They only smile, they don't do anything. They don't know any other emotions. I don't know. It's pretty weird. But if Mr. Smiley Guy is dead, I'm gonna be very sad because he was the creepiest one of all.
Well, one thing though that I found interesting was the fact that in one of those scenes, not in this episode, but I think it was maybe 2 episodes ago, we did see some of them that look more modern, and
Did we?
that was kind of weird to me. Yeah, there was I remember there was like an Indian guy, and someone they were dressed way more modern. So it makes you wonder: do they just take on like identities of people they kill?
Mm,
That can't be it,
that's a
right?
good No, because we'll have seen the little kid otherwise. Because I'm sorry if you got a little kid monster, you're fucking getting out. Because that's scary.
True.
And we haven't seen any kids. Have we? No, we have. Oh, we
Yeah,
was.
well, I know. I'm just. We saw the Ghost Boy, but speaking of, Diane Wood did not make another
That's
appearance
true.
in this episode. But no, I just wonder why they choose to look the way they look. I wonder, is there like a reason
For
behind it?
me, it just felt like he was out of the 1950s. And for me, based on what happened in 1950s and 60s, I'm thinking
Well, yeah,
conspiracy,
I
I'm
mean,
thinking experiment,
bec-
and I'm thinking actually they are stuck in
well,
that period of that time. But that's me.
but I'm also remembering back to season one where one appeared as her brother. Remember?
Did he?
Yeah, remember when they had just arrived there? And they had first got to the colony house, and her brother was trying to talk to her to let her in.
Oh,
Remember that?
okay.
So it makes you wonder,
You see, this is something I don't remember, but that's really due to the fact we're waiting 1 year to actually get another season. But I don't remember that, or maybe they've forgotten about it because they still haven't
Yeah,
they haven't actually seems to take the appearance of a loved one since. So
true. But in the opening scene, also in the very first episode, was it supposed to be that little girl's grandmother, or did it just
it
remind her of
reminds
her
her of the
grandmother?
grandmother. Yeah,
Okay, I was thinking maybe that was another one
yeah,
too.
that was pretty confusing as well, but I don't think it was. But we actually seen her again, I think, her grandmother. Mm. But oh,
A lot of questions.
I don't know. So we know now that actually these worms could actually be a weapon against these things, or might not be a weapon. We don't know. It does something to them.
What if it's What if it turns him into a human? Oh,
Oh god, scary. I don't think so though. But
that's the scariest
mm,
part.
I do believe, to be honest, I do believe we're gonna actually have maybe an autopsy next season, next episode, because they're looking at the end of the episode. Show them looking at outside. Is he dead? We don't know. Maybe we will know soon enough. Credits. So we might have an autopsy.
And it's not even a full hour. Like they can at least make it a full hour. It's like 46 minutes, right?
And this is actually always going to be the issue I have is this show is so well written, for me anyway, that it's never enough.
Mhm.
And always have to wait another week. Thank God we don't actually have to deal with, oh, we come back in 3 months' time for the next episode, like it happened with Prodigal Son. When in Prodigal Son, we watched one episode and then they disappear for 3 weeks and got another episode playing. That was annoying.
R.I.P. Prodigal Son.
Yeah, that was cool. I love that show. But yeah. And we also have Janet actually having a very nice argument with that character I don't like, which is a dad character. We just say, oh, we need to tell everyone we don't have any food.
Yeah, like why would you do that, man?
Yeah, I hate that character. I just hate the guy is useless. The guy is so useless.
we didn't, and we didn't see the guy in the bus in this
That's
one.
true. Mm. I wanted to see if he would have been standing on top of his bus, carving things about, looking at the others, just knocking at the doors. I wonder. We will see next episode, I guess. So overall,
Yeah,
mm,
so
what did you think of it?
I thought it was a good episode that actually progressed the story a little bit more. It's nice to see, like, but again, we don't know if it actually is a weakness. We don't know what it does to them, but it's nice to see these things have some kind of vulnerability, you know, other than the talisman. So that was all right. But we also learned that one of the characters might be pregnant.
Of course it.
So because that's what we need, a baby.
We need a wedding and a baby. That's the two things we need.
Yeah. So, well, I'm actually just thinking about the beginning, the title scene where we always see basically Ellis and his fiance. I wonder if them having a baby will be some sort of something that makes something else happen. Like we already had a house fall down, so
And what happens if you have a baby in this place? Because we actually pretty much know this place is not a normal place. So making babies in this place, can it actually create some things different?
yeah.
Mm.
I guess we'll see. But all in all, this episode, it was it was a yes for me. I enjoyed it. There was enough tension and enough dialogue balance to balance each other out.
I
So,
enjoy
what
it. I
about you?
enjoy it too. I did love the fact that the guy stab Alice and say, "Oh, I'm sorry, I was didn't mean to." Mm, okay. You had a knife with you. You know, it's just, and I don't know. I enjoyed it too. I found that there was a very interesting things happening. I kind of wish they didn't spend that much time with the family from the beginning, like when they were making food. I just don't know why they were there to actually help with the food, to be honest. But because for me, it's the less interesting characters. So, but overall, I did enjoy it. I find a shame that they already shoot their shot about the story with Kim and Boyd and the drug addiction thing because they could have kept it a bit more. That could have been a bit of a tension. That could have been good, but I guess they only have 10 episodes or 13 episodes per season. They can't really keep this thing going too long either, unfortunately. Uh,
No, and let's just hope that From doesn't get the same treatment as Euphoria, where we will be getting it in 2025 because of the
Oh,
writer's strike. So let's hope.
please no. Because in one way, Euphoria is a kind of a drama, but this was a mystery, and we don't want a cliffhanger waiting
Mhm.
2 years for the end of a cliffhanger. No, please, no,
Yeah.
please. But oh yeah, overall I liked it. A bit of revelation, not too much. And maybe that's a bit something that kind of be grating eventually. That actually we just have drops of information from bit by bit. It would be nice to have an episode when they really go deeper into the mystery, maybe. That could be interesting. Because they got so much stuff that actually we've seen so far that hasn't been explained. They could actually take just one thing and explain it. That could actually make it much more interesting. But can it happen now? I don't know. I just have a feeling the wedding's going to be important. Um, so I don't know what's going to happen. But
Yeah. Well, we have like what,
and,
four
well,
more episodes.
we got 4 more episodes. And for what I've seen on IMDb, because they do have some summaries, some very quick summaries about it, the thing's gonna go down. So let's see how things are going. But I do hope they're gonna give us a bit of an answer for mysteries because there's stuff they set up from season one that we haven't seen since, which is very weird to me, like the lighthouse. They haven't talked about the lighthouse. We saw a lighthouse. They haven't talked about it.
Are the random time are the random time jumps? I remember in season one, Jade was basically seeing
Yeah.
something happen from the
Yeah,
past.
the well,
Remember?
it was a thing
Like,
linked to actually what's his name
mhm.
with the lunchbox. I'm terrible with his name. Damn.
Yeah.
Mm.
So,
But
and you're
with
talking about
Victor,
Victor, by the way.
yes, that's what happened with Victor. That's what he saw. But let's be honest, they actually have the lighthouse. I haven't talked about it. The spiders. So he has to remember that imagery of actually they going inside the woods and they got this place with basically spiders and actually with spider webs everywhere. And you would say that, oh, the spiders are important. And we always thought about the spiders are important, but the spiders are nowhere to be seen. So were there something at the Lost, like in Lost, when they actually throw everything at the wall to see what stick? Or they have something planned to actually bring them back into the fold a bit later on. And that's, I don't know.
Well, I guess we'll know
Oh,
in
please, no.
2025.
Don't. So overall, great episode, and actually looking forward for next week. That's gonna be interesting. So yeah, so that was a
Yeah.
recap.
So, as always, I guess if you like the video, you can always subscribe and listen to our podcast.
hmm
David, I know you love your film.
We're gonna try to actually do some more soon. And please leave your theories on the comment section so we'd like to know what you think because we got a lot of unanswered questions. Maybe you've got some ideas about what's going on. And on that note, goodbye.